two before the one. Wisdom is water, I'm the daughter of the cannon fodder. Applied knowledge and insight, a born scholar. Look like a martyr to marauders like Carter. Wise owl slaughter, whack MCs order applauder. Original woman, decipher the womb. Crown of creation, fruit of the planet Earth.
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of Wilder Dome TV. Today I have a very special guest. This is actually my very first interview on Wilder Dome TV. You know him from being an MC. You know him from his YouTube channel. You know him from if you saw the latest Curtis King interview. Um, and also, you know, with a really, really big presence on social media, known for threads and breakdowns of different things within the world and hip hop culture. Dat Boi Vic, man, thank you for coming to the show. Great to have you back, man.
Oh yeah, man. Likewise, man. Glad to be on. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was the first one on here.
Yep.
I always rock with the channel. You know what I mean? So back again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Likewise, man. Likewise. So first, you know, when we were coming up with what we were going to build on the show, I said I kind of wanted to do the show about does hip hop have a sellout problem? Because you know, there's been a lot of things going on in the hip hop world. You even addressed some of it on your new album. But
Right.
before we get into that part of it, I want you to tell first, one day this war is going to end. The new album, great
Right.
album, 10 tracks, featuring joints like Blood Rain with Ruben Vincent, and he's
Yeah.
signed with Knife Wonder, right? Or did he just? Or
Yeah.
did they just do a collab?
Rock Nation and Ninth Wonder, I believe.
Okay,
But Ninth Wonder just put a tape out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Pretty dope. Go cop that.
Yeah, dope, dope, dope. Also standouts like Peace is Hell, Othello's Revenge. Man, tell the people who haven't tapped in yet, you know, just let them know a little bit about the album. You know what I'm saying? What kind of mind state you was in when you was recording it. Because again, your albums are always very, very layered, a lot of different subject matter, things that you gotta run back more than once to catch everything. You know what I'm saying? So just let everybody know, you know what I'm saying, about the new album.
You know, the latest album that I just dropped, me and my producer, you know, Professor Grimes, that's why I've been working with since Almighty Pen. For those that don't know, Almighty Pen out in 2020. It was one of the first albums that really like got people kind of coming in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Me and Professor Grimes been killing shit ever since. You know, but every year we try to put something out. This album, but every album we do, we try to make it sound a little bit different from the last album. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to give you that, you know, in this type of genre that we in, this subgenre of underground hip hop, where a lot of guys are kind of like throwing a lot of albums out that kind of sound similar. You know what I mean? If you heard one tape, then you heard them all. And what I try to do is each album that me and Professor Grimes put out, we always try to give you a different, you know, something different. And with this album, we tried to give you something. It was supposed to come out on Halloween, so it's supposed to be like a real dark theme album. You know what I mean?
I can kind of tell, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't land. It wasn't able to land in October. So we pushed it back a little bit. But that's why the theme of it was so dark. You know what I mean? And I wanted to give something raw because I had like the last couple albums was very, very artistic. It's like the Sad Poet and
yeah,
you know, it's kind of like just give people a little bit. Just back in that bag where we just dealing with straight Scorpio energy. You know what I mean?
no doubt. Hey, so you did kind of mention something just now. We're in an era where a lot of people are like releasing like 5 and 6 albums in one year. You know, like what do you think that waters down like your music whenever you know release so much and at a rapid rate like that?
It just depends on. I think it depends on your audience. You know what I mean? Like each person has a different audience, and each artist is different. You know, a lot of rappers don't do what I do. Not to sound arrogant about it, but you know, I try not to give you the same thing every time, which will sometimes take longer, right?
Yeah, right.
But if you just throwing out just a playlist where there's no cohesiveness, anything with the order, it's a lot easier. You can just go to the studio and make this track and that track and push them out. And then, you know, some fans buy it. So if people have an audience that just want to hear that same stuff over and over, market for it, sell it to them. You know what I mean? But for me, I try to take a different approach and kind of move more like a Tarantino, where I take my time with it and try to put something out. That's going to be meaningful and I could look back on and be proud of. You know what I mean? So
I think that's what everybody. One of the things that everybody loves about your albums is the fact that, again, they're very layered, and you always catching new things within the album. And so this is no different. So everybody make sure one day this war is going to end. All streaming platforms, go run up the numbers. Also,
question real quick though.
Yeah.
What was your favorite track on the tape, man?
I probably Peace as Hell.
Peace as Hell. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Because it has a dark sound.
Yeah.
And you going off on that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say Blood Rain, but I think that would be the obvious because you and Ruben, y'all go back and forth. Well, y'all both kill it as far as y'all verses, right? It's not necessarily back and forth, but y'all both kill it as far as your voices. I think that would be the obvious choice. But Peace as Hell is probably the one that stuck with me.
Dope.
No doubt. I was gonna say though, everybody watching now, obviously too, you just did the big interview with Curtis King. Salute to you both on that. Y'all go check that out and run that up as well. That was a great interview.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's get into the topic, man. Does hip hop have a sellout problem? First thing, since we're talking about your album,
right?
You're getting the Adin Ross on there, right? And for people that may not be familiar with you, that will just be now tapping in, and they hear that first joint, and they're like, "Yo, what's going on with Adin Ross?" Like, I mean, obviously, I'm not a fan of Adin Ross, and I 100% wholeheartedly agree with everything that you're saying about him, but at the same time, kind of give people the backstory on why you going at him like that.
Okay, so a lot of people for some people, like you say, with the Curtis King, it brought even some new people into the albums. And the first song they hear is me coming at Adin Ross on that second verse, you know what I'm saying? With the Farrakhan banging on Mike Wallace intro. That's how you know I'm about to fire him up.
Right.
But anyway, a lot of people ain't that, but that's that old now Mr. Wallace, you know what I'm saying? Back to them. So the thing is, we got an issue in our genre where a lot of people speak on us not controlling which artists get signed, right? But it's also another issue on the media, right? Our journalists that blow up the biggest. And as you see right now, what's going on with Twitter, right? When Elon opened up the floodgates to see where a lot of these pages are actually from.
Like right? India and Nigeria and Bangladesh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's weird because it's like a lot of the biggest hip hop pages come from outside of the culture, right? So, not some of them do decent work, you know what I mean? But you got your Vlads, you got these, you got your Adin Rosses, and Adin Ross happened to be one of them that kind of felt a little forced, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He don't really seem like he really into you. We can bang on Vlad all we want, but at least we can say Vlad got a long history of, you know what I'm saying, being amongst the culture. Is he 100% right in his act? Not necessarily. However, at least he got some, sentiments of it. However, with Adin Ross, it's like, where this kid come from? You know what I mean? Right. And he don't really know much about hip hop. So for him to have a big streaming thing, and then he starts to kind of nosedive into our culture, right? Just because he brings a couple rappers on, now all of a sudden he obligated to speak on our culture. And what happened was, for whatever reason, this is another streamer named Neon, right?
Yeah. I don't know much.
And what happened is the rap game is so right. So the rap game is right now, the mainstream rap game, that streaming is big. And what the label started doing was the label started sending, because for some reason rap wants to target little kids or the younger generation, right? So they started sending these rappers to these streamers who happen to be teenagers or whatever. And what happened was it made them start to feel a little more comfortable than they should. So this kid Neon is on Breakfast Club. I wasn't that familiar with him, but he was a Charlemagne and all of them was kind of like, I guess they was trying to get him on some of the things he said about Harriet Tubman and the negative things he said about the culture, right? And as he's trying to correct his wrongs in so many words, Adin Ross starts chiming in during the interview, right? Like, man, fuck that, man. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, you good.
Fuck that, man. Don't apologize to them. None of this, you know what I'm saying? And I'm watching it like, wow, the nerve,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To one, be a guest in the culture, and then two, you know, when one dude is trying to fix what he said wrong, you kind of tell him, nah, double down, fuck that.
Right.
And you know, what you said was wrong. You disrespected Harriet Tubman, you disrespected black culture. And Adin Ross was doubling down, F that, and then on top of that, he started dissing the other black woman on the show. I didn't like the way he was talking about Meg Thee Stallion and all that. A lot of things he was saying that was kind of sideways to me. So what I did was, you know, I got my platform is on Twitter. I got into my journalism bag and I said I'm gonna hit him with some mirror work, as I said on Curtis King platform. What the mirror work is make a person look in the mirror, right? So it's without me having to, I don't have to disrespect you at all. I'm just gonna make you look in the mirror and you do your own work. So what I did was I said, yo, this kid kind of say some crazy things, and he be around a lot of racist cats. So I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together a thread of all the things that he's done that's race, you know, disrespectful towards black culture, and the list just happened to be hella long,
Right.
and it's viral. And what happened was when it got to like 3 million views, people started tagging me like, "Hey, yo, Adin Ross dissing you on his platform," and I'm like, "What?" So they sent it to me. You know, he's going in on F my family and all this, and
wow,
disrespecting my Spotify numbers and all that. That's why I banged on the Spotify. You know what I mean? But you know, that's the origin of that issue, right? But instead of like, even though, and I had the minister playing during the thread, you know what I'm saying, calling out it, he latched on to the culture. You know what I mean? And he didn't like it, you know. So, you know, he started the disrespect, and I just, you know, I'm an artist, so I did it when I had the chance to speak again. I put it into the album, like just like an artist does, right?
yeah, absolutely, man. That's a very dope song. First song on the album. Whenever I was listening to it, I was like, "Yo," I was like, because I wasn't expecting it. You know what I mean? But I'm glad people. I'm glad them kind of cats is y'all are getting at it, man. Because it's long overdue, man. I feel like these dudes, they don't really care about hip hop. They don't care about the genre. They definitely don't care about the culture. When you look at it like an Adin Ross, though, like he gets, so as some with that said, he still gets like a Drake cosign, and
Yeah.
like what's up with that? You know, like why are these big time artists like that, you know, giving legitimacy to an Adin Ross or, you know, academics?
Well, you know, you gotta. So hip hop, mainstream hip hop is always broken down within two ways. You know, I always say just like the Sphinx. You know what I mean? You got your higher and your lower, and the reality is that the two can't coexist, right? And no matter how much they try, but the two really can't coexist. The fans can't coexist. There's only so many people that blend it well. And what happened is, you know, those type of fans, those type of streamers, and people that side with the more of the Drakes, they're not into the lyrical rap and the conscious rap and all that. And Drake, you know, he kind of, I could say he kind of, you know, he kind of understands where they coming from as far as him being rejected from the culture so many times that he embraces them. And another thing also too, you have to understand is that all of these cats are, you know, they're not Black Americans. You know what I mean? So they all can have that in commonality as far as DJ Act. You know what I mean? Adin Ross, Drake, right? Not the issue, but in the sense of if you make a song like They Not Like Us, they could take that in so many ways. And you know, and like I said, I told people, I said, you know, I don't be in my FBA bag or none of that. But the issue is that you can see that was a little bit present in
Mm.
that whole battle. And it's like now you see what Drake says. Like, he ain't rocking with no FBAs. He ain't did a song with a Black American sense. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So that edge is there a little bit also. You know.
You mentioned Spotify numbers. What's the obsession that everybody has with numbers these days? Because what's interesting is when I look at albums that some of my favorites that are classics, right? And then you'll be, I guess, on whatever your favorite hip hop site is, and you'll see. Cause I want to say I just saw like recently, like last month, GZA Liquid Swords just now
Yeah,
went platinum, right?
that's crazy.
One of the best albums, in my
Ever.
opinion, in yeah, ever, right? Just going
Yeah.
platinum. But it kind of goes to show that numbers were never really our main focus. What's going on now with this new generation where Spotify numbers and Apple Music numbers seem to be how people judge what's dope or not?
Well, we got brainwashed with the capitalism element.
Hmm.
You know, capitalism element is always going to have people in competition. You know what I mean? And it goes back to grade school when I got the better grade than you. I
Yeah.
got the better job.
Hmm.
That element that's heavily present in rap, but it wasn't like that originally. A lot of people forget that when rap first started, I say mid 80s, uh, people was in a Pan African bag, people was in a Black Panther bag, and they was in a kind of communist bag. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And to a degree, so uh, over a period of time, probably about mid 90s, I always say with the Puff era, and even the late Tupac era, they started banging as far as I sold more records than you. You know, I remember it was a clip where Tupac early on, like probably 91, he was going at MC Hammer, and they would say MC Hammer sold all these records. What's the issue?
Yeah, I saw in that interview.
Remember that interview? And
Hmm.
he said crack sold a million rocks. That don't make it good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's a crazy analogy, but by
Hmm.
90, he said we sell the most records. We sell records. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's showing that he had bought into the capitalism too.
Yeah,
You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
And that's the element that hasn't stopped since.
Hmm.
So now we got into the digital age with the Spotify numbers and all that. This became a way to rate music also. And that Spotify pays artists the least.
Hmm.
People, a lot
Right, right.
Spotify pays less than Tidal, less than iTunes, and all that. However, with that monthly listener little thing right there, that little statistic, it keeps everybody running to it,
Yeah.
focusing on the number, and this number constantly changing. And also, a lot of people throw give you fake numbers because they throw money at it to increase the fake numbers. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And also, it's a playlist thing, so a lot of the numbers not even real. You know what I
Right.
mean? But that's the fake value system. DJ Academics, he's one of the main ones. We talked about it years ago, where when the album drop, he's focusing on those numbers,
Right.
right? This is something that the execs at the labels used to focus on, not the artists, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
So let,
That's a
let alone the fans.
Yeah, that I mean that's a great point because at the end of the day, music is music, right? Like, is it jamming or not?
Right.
That's the first thing that somebody's gonna ask. Not what they Spotify numbers looking like? Because that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? And like you mentioned too, they throwing money at these Spotify numbers. Like these not even real listens.
Yeah, I mean, even after the Drake and Kendrick issue, we seen that bots play a huge role in them numbers. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Bots play a huge role on Twitter with the super fan account, right?
Right.
Fan account in India probably paid by the label, right? To just tweet and promote all day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. That's a good point. I never thought about that. So like them stan accounts, that could possibly be being paid by the record label. You know what I'm saying?
More than likely, I said today, I said that's label paying that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Probably paying Twitter and they boosting the algorithm.
Right. Right.
Man,
Right.
on Twitter today, I literally I asked Grok, yo, am I shadow banned?
Hmm.
Grok said, yeah, you shadow banned.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Wow.
oh, if you shadow banned, that's why
Wow.
I ain't that damn smart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To tell on themselves. You
Is it
feel me?
that and make sure everybody go check out the Twitter Music and Bills
Yeah.
on Twitter. Tell them why you tell them why you think you got why you know you got shadow banned. Like tell for people that um again may not be familiar with what you do. Like you actually put together long threads
Mhm.
detailing information, and like they're always obviously very entertaining, very informative. But yeah,
Right.
just let everybody know.
So what I do on Twitter, man, I've been doing it for years. You know what I'm saying? It became a way for me to just express myself and teach lessons doing threads. And what a thread is even before threads, the I think it's Instagram got a version now called
Yeah.
Threads.
Mm-hmm.
We use Threads on Twitter, and
Right.
what we do is we will break down it. Mine will be knowledge, entertainment, history, whatever we want to break down. You know what I'm saying? We'll
Mm-hmm.
just players, and it'll be like a blog. It turns like the Twitter blog era for me. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I met a lot of people through my journalism, my indie journalism, doing that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is that, in my opinion, I've been because I was stuck on 29K for like a year.
Wow.
I had 136 million impressions last year, and I just hit 35K this year. And then today I realized I was shadow banned again, right?
Mm.
So it's a thing where uh, Twitter kind of makes sure that certain Black American uh, pages really don't go big. You don't really see too many huge Black pages, especially informal Black pages that are very very popular on Twitter as far as like 100,000, 200,000, and
Mm-hmm.
millions. And Dom Lucre is the only one I could think of. You know what I'm saying? And Dom Lucre shit. Man, I didn't spoke with Dom Lucre, you know what I'm saying? So, but the moment with a million followers is tapped in with me, you know what I'm saying? My shit is moving like so my page moves at times like it has a million followers, but the number is stuck.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
And what that is because I have some of my threads are probably things that they may not want people to get out and say. I've said things that what I mean, kind
But
of.
ain't that part crazy? Because as soon as you get on X, it's like a damn Klan rally. Like like they let white nationalists run wild on there.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense though because Elon is controlling that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Elon go in and quote them tweets and boost them up. So if they
Mm-hmm.
boost them up, they could also suppress it. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? When they coming across pages like mine, and I'm saying things that they may not want to hear, or even you know what I mean? They just
Mm-hmm.
suppress, stop our pages from growing because that kills your platform from reaching other people. You
Right.
know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and most of the pages the Black pages that you see on Twitter that are big are mostly entertainment based and nonsense based. You know what I'm saying? You don't find a lot of knowledgeable Black American pages like they got what would they call it, conspiracy theory pages and Alex Jones pages and all these pages where the right wing what they would call conscious are huge on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then Black pages are kind of stuck within like 1K, 8K,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 8K. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
that's
reach
real.
five K.
That's like my joint. Like it I get it, yeah, it doesn't move as quickly and as it feels like what the engagement is like. You know what I'm saying?
The
Uh,
numbers don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Real talk. Another thing that Rory from the Rory and Maul show, uh,
Yeah, that's
he,
funny.
if everybody don't know, like a couple weeks ago, they
Mhm.
pulled up. I don't know what prompted it. I think it was him talking about. Yeah, I think he was saying that he was rooting for the Clips to win the Grammy over Kendrick,
Okay.
and and then
Man, look it up, huh?
yeah,
On your ass, boy.
and then so Kendrick's fans started digging up old tweets, and as you know, like there's a lot. They said there was over 100, tweets
Oh,
that could be perceived as racist.
man.
What was your
Yeah.
thoughts whenever you saw that?
I wasn't surprised, man.
Hmm.
I'm never surprised when I see that.
Me
You know,
either.
I- so I wasn't really. I just Rory was kind of. you know, Maul got me blocked for whatever reason. I
Damn.
already caught like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. I had no
You ain't
action
never
with,
had an interaction with Maul?
nah, you know, I fuck with Nick Grant. Nick Grant, my dog, is
Yeah.
cool with Maul. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So I gotta holler at him about that because that's kind of like I was like, damn, Maul kind of when I went to his page, he had me blocked. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
crazy. But I was figuring like if Maul blocked me and shit, and that's his man's, you know, he probably don't ain't fucking with no conscience, nigga. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I wasn't really surprised when it came out. I was you know, we let a lot of people in our culture, man, and you know, we don't run no checks by them. Even a lot of the black dudes in charge, you know, them Sambos too, man.
Yeah.
Most,
So how do we run checks though in these days and times when you can start a podcast, make an album all from the comfort of your own home?
uh, as far as with artists or with
Well, you
media.
know, artists, podcasters, just people in the culture, right? Like it seems like it'd be harder to gatekeep now because everybody has access to everything.
Yeah, it is a little harder, you know what I mean. But you have to do you have to always go back to the eye. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? I do the eye test with a lot of these cats. The way they be talking and shit, sometimes they be coming off like a little phony to me. You know what I mean? You can
Hmm.
tell this shit ain't real. But you know, Rory, this what a lot of people don't understand. If you don't like the black woman, you don't fuck with the niggas.
Right, 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 right. And that because that was a lot. You're right, because that was a lot of where the tweets was aimed at. Right, it was aimed at the sisters.
Woman and a lot of cats do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot
Hmm.
of people do that and they'll use this and to take a little bit of accountability is that's because our culture bangs on the black woman too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So a lot of come in and they say, well, them niggas they be remember what I'm old enough to remember what Don Imus called the he
Oh
banged on
yeah, them Rutgers basketball players. Yeah, I
and,
remember.
you know what he said was the rappers be doing it too. You know,
Mm. Hmm.
so we take accountability to say, well, you know, at the same time, when you come into rap, like
Hmm.
Dolores Tucker was talking about,
Hmm.
this is one thing. I think Gregory said his issue with rap was that this is the only genre that really bangs on the black woman all the time. And when you come, and we just said early '90s rap,
Hmm.
you know, black woman was catching hell.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I grabbed it by her nappy ass weave. It was, you know, she was catching hell,
Hmm.
and it became normalized. So if you was, well, we was in the hood, so we had black mama, we had black grandma, so we didn't hear like people on the outside heard it, and that's one thing we always have to remember that this is our culture, and the way we talk amongst us is getting out.
Mm.
Saying
Right,
like I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for rap going mainstream, Nick, other people outside the culture still wouldn't even know what slang we be talking
right,
because it
right.
changed city to city, different
Yeah.
town to town. So rap taught people a way to really like get into black culture. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that it taught them, it miseducated people on was that all of us accept disrespect from the black woman. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But like every black rapper that you love, every black male rapper that you love, every black athlete that you love, all have a black mother. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's what special to me was I think he was the first one to really put mom on a pedestal. You know what I
And
mean?
he had the perfect balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have worked. You mentioned Nick Grant. You have worked with Nick Grant, Ransom, Elzar. About some of the, again, for the new people who are just now going to be tapping in. Talk about some of these legendary artists that you've worked with.
Yeah, man. Even I worked with Crooked Eye. You
Oh
know,
yeah, that's right. Yep.
I worked with Crooked Eye, which was 100% legendary. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Me and Crooked Eye chopped it up on the phone for about an hour or so, even before we even got into that. You
mm,
know, and Crooked Eye was just he had respect for what I was doing. A
hmm.
lot of a lot of these guys, man. You know, we work. I said on the Curtis King podcast that we have the subgenre that we are in when it comes to rap is
Hmm.
100% capitalism based. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Even when it comes to who had the better verse, who had the better song, and what happens is a lot of times when you're always in competition, nobody wants to show each other love. So
Mm,
so when I do get love from the guys that are at a higher level at the time, I appreciated it dearly. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Crooked I was one of them guys that just was like, man, I fuck with your movement. I love it. You know what I mean? And I want to bless you with this.
Wow.
And Nick Grant the same thing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Ron
Oh
Streets is
yeah.
another one that gave me a lot of game. You know that he
Hmm.
didn't necessarily have to. Ron Streets another one that told me like, bro, a lot of these motherfuckers is biting your shit. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Straight up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anytime I get lessons and love from the guys who've been doing it, because I respect all my peers, you know what I mean? Uh, that respect me. As far and I got to the point now I work with people that I work with artists that want to work with me genuinely. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No.
it's love mutual.
Yeah. No, that's
Like
dope.
even with Vincent, he was another one that just showed love and that he didn't have to. Just he was on Breakfast Club the day before. He hit me like, bro, I'm shooting the verse to you as soon as I touch back in Charlotte. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Man, that's love right there, man.
Heard this bond, and then the
Hmm.
nigga did it and was back on the interview. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's love when guys at the top look down and just show love. You know what I mean? Marco Plus another one. It's a bunch of them, man, that show love. You know?
Why do you or do you think that the Carolinas are slept on when it comes to hip hop and the contribution that the Carolinas have made to hip hop culture historically and in the present?
Yeah, yes and no. If anybody lived in the Carolinas, uh, one thing you will know is that it's ratchet.
Yeah.
I mean, ratchet, and niggas like we like if you like I say you can listen to all the Fonte and all the Little Brother and all and me and all them other niggas. So my shit a little more ratchet than the Little Brothers and shit, but at the same time, it ain't nothing compared to what we grow up listening to.
Right.
I said we love trap music, we love gangster southern rap music and all that. So it's not that so much that we slept on. It's kind of like when I was, where I grew up at, niggas knew J. Cole, but niggas wasn't really fucking with J. Cole, you know what I'm saying, to keep it a
Mhm.
bean. Just because they didn't like that. Not that he couldn't rap, just niggas ain't listening to that type of music.
Right.
And it's 100% dirty South, and niggas ain't really fucking with niggas who kind of we do have those lyrical guys. However, we in the heart of the South, and a lot of the guys really don't want to hear that. I grew up with a lot of Southern street dudes, and Southern street dudes can respect and say, "Yeah, nigga, you spitting and all that,"
Hmm.
but got where that other shit at?
Well, I think you actually have a good mix of both, though, right? You know what I mean? There
Yeah,
are
I
certain
try to do
Southern,
both.
yeah, there are certain Southern artists, that we grew up on that could do that. Um, to be honest with you, that's some of my favorite type shit because being from the South, a lot of times we get misjudged as if we, like we dumb or we slow. Remember, like, I mean, they used to say shit like that. You know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
said that.
Yeah, I remember that. And then, but yeah, that's a lot of when it comes to the South, a lot of that. It's not my only, the thing. It's not the only thing that I like, obviously, as far as Southern hip hop, because obviously I like the ratchet music too. But I think when the Outcasts, the Goody Mobs, the Scarfaces, uh, even Jay Electronica. Not saying that um, I don't rock with the ghetto mafias and all of that too. You know what I mean? I just like the balance of the Southern sound with having something real to say about society. You know what I mean?
Right. No, for sure. But and a lot of that got lost too. Right?
Hmm.
Even that part, even that where it's not too many Southern Scarfaces no
Right.
more.
Right.
Not so because I understand that like when we look at the '90s Southern rappers, all the way to your Soldier Slims and your Camouflages and all these guys still have something to say, even though
Hmm.
they still have something to say with it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then it kind of got to just where niggas is just making playlists and the artistic side of it left, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And I think that's what turns some people off to Southern rap. And uh, rappers like Big Crit just kind of don't get the praise.
Man.
You know?
Yeah, like I'm glad you mentioned him because when we think about this last era, the first people that's going to always come to mind is Drake, Kendrick, Cole. But for a time, Big Crit was in that conversation.
Yeah, he was, but the issue with Crit was the market,
Mm.
right?
Hmm.
So I talked about it before. A lot of people don't understand that record labels are like NBA teams in the
Hmm.
sense, or NFL teams in the sense of before they put some money behind the artist, they want to make sure that the artist is usually coming from a huge market. You know what I mean? So that's why you always hear Stephen A. Smith say, "Man, I want the Knicks to get into not just because he's a Knicks fan, but I want to see the Knicks play the Lakers. I want to
Right.
see the Austin. I
Right.
want to see Austin play the Clippers.
Hmm.
Or Miami. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
that's why LeBron had to leave to Miami
Hmm.
to a degree. You see what I'm saying? It's a
Right.
bigger market. And J. Cole had the New York market backing him, even though he's from Charlotte, which is pretty big. He had the New York market backing him too. He had the, you know what I mean? And I don't think Crit ever had that because Crit ain't even from Jackson, Mississippi. He from like uh, a smaller town in
Yeah.
Mississippi. But if you
Right.
take all those three, Drake got Canada.
Hmm.
So the labels look at that. That's a safe pick. He got Canada and he got the Wayne cosign.
Hmm. Right.
They got New York and he got the Jay-Z cosign.
Right.
You look at it and you say, well, he got small town Mississippi,
Hmm.
and then he got the big cosign. And he says it before in his own freestyles. At times he touches on it.
Yeah.
And I heard a lot of guys, even like guys I rap with, and been doing this. Niggas then got deals and shit. I be feeling like Boosie, nigga. What about me?
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in the sense of like, oh, not to make no excuses for it, but it's a business thing. And the reality is they coming from way bigger markets, way bigger guys who've been in there can take them under their wing and co-sign them.
Yeah.
You know, from southern places. That's what I like about Texas is strong because Texas is like it's like a New York in the sense of even I knew guys in Texas that sold it out they Trump back in the day and
Hmm.
got rich. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
We knew Chameleon and all them boys even before we even knew what they looked like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flip sold like 120,000 on the Leprechaun before he was worldwide.
So Texas just happened to be a state where, like Pimp C said, them niggas ain't fuck with us either. But we
Right.
did our shit was
Right.
big their way. But a lot of southern states we don't have that.
Hmm.
So I think that's what hurt Crit, and I think that's what hurt a lot of southern rappers that ain't out. That's outside of like the Atlantas.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Um, Another thing that was in the news, and it was on his head about it. Timbaland and his AI artist. Um, so I don't know how true this part is, but they were saying that he was getting independent artists to submit music, like he was going to work with them or possibly sign them. But what he was doing was really adding music to the data set that his AI was going to be using. Like the same way ChatGPT will have a data set that it pulls from. He was doing the same thing with
That's
indie
some shit.
music. Yes, like what were your thoughts on that part and moving forward the role of AI in black music?
With the first part, I wasn't surprised. I was laughing at it like, yo, this shit crazy, right? I mean, automation coming to take everything, man.
Yeah.
And go back again, that's capitalism for you, man. The billionaires doing it. Everybody on top is like, well, see, goddamn, if I ain't got to deal with no artists, I just do this and do that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I think I heard it was an artist that he signed, an R&B singer that said already something crazy about Timbaland's ethics. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I think it was Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller said he told him, man, go ahead and quit your job. Uh, in so many words, I'm gonna sign you. So Bryson Tiller quit his job, you know what I mean? And then he ain't never get no check. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really surprised when I heard that type of stuff. People don't realize, man, this rap shit is, you dealing with devils, and the devils ain't got no color.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't.
You know,
But yeah, to the second part of your question was, where do I think AI is gonna go? I mean, here's my opinion on it, right?
mhm.
I don't think AI could outdo Nas. I don't think AI could outdo Scarface. I don't think AI could outdo J Electronica. So, but I do think AI could outdo the rapper that says 40 words in one song. You know, you
Yeah.
always have smarter than in the sense of, you know what I mean? Now, now I said it in '99. He said computers ain't that smart.
Mm,
What they have built could be taken apart,
mm,
right? So,
right.
in the sense of if your style is easy to download, niggas gonna tell you shit. I heard it. I just seen an African dude rapping 100% like Kendrick.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just
Yeah,
saw that. Yeah.
he was taking the flow. He couldn't put the words together like Kendrick, but he took the flow and the sound
And
100%.
the voice hit the voice inflection and all that. Yeah.
It's crazy. But I'll tell you another thing too. Fans did something that we didn't used to do in my era, and that was they allow rappers to sound like other rappers and then support those rappers to sound like other rappers.
Bro,
You know
from
what I
the
mean?
beginning of hip hop, being a biter was one of the worst things that you could ever be called. Now it seems like it don't even matter.
Don't even fans don't even care. Like I like this nigga, I'm like, but he stole it from the other nigga that you like.
Right,
You
right.
that boy Vic and another nigga sound like me and bite my whole shit and you rocking with him. I can't fuck with you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you like again, why do you think that is though? Why do you think biting and not being original is accepted it's these days? Is it because my generation we didn't do a good enough job giving the game to the generation that came before us? Like what do you think that is?
Yeah, it's that too. You know what I'm saying? It's that, and it's also the fact that record sales started mattering, and
Mm.
people, fans started see when we first got into rap.
Hmm.
Even when I was a kid in the early '90s and early 2000s, and you know the thing about rap was you didn't rap unless you really knew how to rap. Now I mean,
Right, right,
like
right.
it was just like it was something that you didn't want to do because unless you wanted to put the 10,000 hours in to learn how to rap.
Hmm.
And over a period of time, as whacker niggas got on, then it became less and less about the talent. And then a lot of people just said, "Well, hell, I can do it. So if he can do it, I can do it." But what people didn't understand was this: if you got a professionalism and anybody can do it, then it's not a professionalism. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I go to a Lakers game, I don't want to feel like I can on the front row. I don't want to sit there in my mind say, "Oh, I know I can get out there and drop."
Drop 30.
I know I can shut down Doncic. So if that's the case, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, that I'm watching them and I pay my money because I say they doing something that I know I can't do.
Right,
I
right.
didn't put that Miss Prom and do all this shit. But what happened, you know, that's how rap used to be when you heard Wu-Tang or you heard Outkast, you was like, oh shit.
Yeah, right,
I could freestyle when I'm high, but the way them niggas is spitting, that
right,
takes some time.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it became a thing with, and that's why even more fans outside of the black community even liked it because, you know, it's like, well, you know what? That's some, because at first they was like, man, that's not real music.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
after they was hearing these ghetto stories, and they was like the poetic side of it. They was like, oh, now that's some shit right there.
yeah.
You know, that's I could fuck with that shit because he's saying something.
Hmm.
And it became a point where it was like nothing but money, hoes, clothes, and then it got simple. It was simple. It wasn't like the way Raekwon and Ghost was sending it on Cuban Links. It
Right,
got simple. It just
right.
became money, hoes, clothes, money, hoes, clothes, and that became the whole thing. And then that ran for years. And you know, uh,
Kind of still running.
still running. You know, and then but genre, uh, nobody really cares to hear it unless they really from this culture and they don't have a expounded ear on anything else. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
don't even a lot of rap. I still listen to rap, but I don't listen to certain rap no more. That's on the mainstream that's really being pushed. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it have nothing to do with their age or anything like that. It's
Hmm.
more side of that. That's not art. The artistic value is gone in the genre that I love. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. About a month ago, I think, this story was floating around about how for the first time in like 25, 30 years or something, hip hop was not on I forgot, I don't know which Billboard chart it was, but yeah, top 40. Okay. And Is that something like what does that mean to you? You know what I'm saying? Because some people were freaking out about it and saying, hip hop is dead. Other people was like, yo, hip hop ain't never been for the charts. Like what was your thoughts whenever you saw that?
My thoughts was that it was a result of Kendrick Lamar beating Drake. You know,
Mm.
because
Hmm.
I realized mainstream rap had been dead for a long time, and I've been saying it for years. I'm like, yo, that shit without Drake, that shit is dead.
Hmm.
And I am a Drake fan, but I'm not the biggest Drake fan. But I'm just realistic. You know what I'm saying? I'm objective, and I'm saying, man, all them niggas that was really really popping, they got the Drake cosign.
Right.
And then, because what it is that people don't understand. We are 14%, 15% of the demographic, right?
Hmm.
Now, this is a numbers game. And as America has actually gotten more racist again,
Hmm.
you know, what I mean? No matter what people say, it has gotten more racist again with the Nick Fuentes and
Yeah.
all these cats are pushing a younger generation of a hate. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really care for rap. They'll go listen to Morgan Wallen and go listen to all this stuff. Uh, so what was your question again? My bad.
No, no, just like it's the like the top 40 hip hop being missing from the
Oh,
top 40.
gotcha.
Like what does that signify or symbolize like to you?
So it signified a couple things. It signified one that a lot of people tapped out of our genre
Mm.
because of the quality. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of kids don't like it. That was my point with the Morgan Wallen and stuff. Is we're not gonna go listen to because I know a lot of white kids that was hoping Drake get his ass beat because they was like, we don't even fuck with Drake. That shit is
Mm.
whack. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They don't like the commercial sound. People don't. If you really, one year I really really wanted to get my ear into other genres because I grew up with nothing but rap, R&B, and I got into rock. You know what I'm saying? Just to learn some Iron Maiden, learn
Oh yeah,
all
Black Sabbath and all them, yeah.
Black
Hmm.
Sabbath, all that, just to expound because even some of the greatest MCs mention them in their songs. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
Nas, Bob Dylan, he mentioned Pink Floyd, all these. So if you don't know about it, you kind of missing the link.
Right.
So one thing I learned is that rock since the '80s hated pop.
Hmm.
Rock
Yep.
fans hate pop. You
Yep.
think what I'm saying? They hate pop. So one thing is even though when rap was coming in, they was like, we don't really fuck with that too much. But then when that shit was raw, they said we could fuck with that.
Right.
And that's started getting your Aerosmith, rocking with Run DMC and all that. You got your Anthrax with Wu Tang, I believe.
Hmm.
Public Enemy. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Rage Against the Machine. Yeah.
They was fucking with the raw shit though. If you really look at it, none of the
Hmm.
commercial shit, but they hated that pop shit.
Hmm.
And what happened was, and we used to hate the pop shit too, but what
Yeah.
happened was that they seen Drake as the pop rapper, which
Right.
he was, you know what I mean? So they was chiming into that little Kendrick beef, like kick his ass, man. We hate that pop shit.
Mm.
Man. So that killed some of it. And then the other side of it is that, you know, the music just is not good. Uh, and one thing I wanted Kendrick to do was, which I said on the Curtis King, was when you build, when you destroy, you gotta rebuild. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you could take the same technique that Drake was doing with the rappers that wasn't as skilled. Did they make some good music? Yes, I do like 21 Savage music. I do like a lot of these rappers' music that got on by way of Drake. However, if Kendrick was destroying that, you got to be able to keep it in motion,
You're
and
right.
that's the only issue, right? Because
Hmm.
one thing Drake did do, whether you like it or not, was keep the business afloat.
Yeah.
Kept
Right.
the business afloat. If you want to be in the mainstream and you want numbers, you need Drake.
Hmm.
Right? Kendrick makes better music, better artistic music. However, he doesn't release a lot of music.
Right.
He don't work with as many artists, right? So uh when he could take that same approach that Drake was doing, and grab this guy and bring him in because a lot of white fans know Kendrick and Drake.
Hmm.
They don't really know 21 Savage and all these until they see who worked with Drake.
Yeah.
As Young Thug said it in jail. We get the Drake feature, nigga, that he put us on.
Right.
And
Right.
what he's saying is he kind of taking us from the black audience, which is 14%, probably 8%. Some blacks don't listen to rap, so probably 8%, 6%, and making us transcend over here to the side of rap fans that's not gonna go looking.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's we need Kendrick to do that if he want to take the approach to replace Drake. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do a song with a so and so and bring him up because whether people say it or not, people will support rap again if it's good.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
not just everybody. People will support talent. You know what I mean? If they hear about it, it's like a lot of people say, well, your music is that ain't gonna be regular, that ain't gonna be popular on Say Cheese and all live mixtapes and all that. But Say Cheese posted my music and my shit went crazy on there. Young kids was like, yo, who's that? Who is that?
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
so the
Right.
issue of them not having access to it and they don't know about it,
Hmm.
right? So people will support talent if they see it.
That's interesting that you said that, especially like, about how you went back and did the knowledge to a lot of early rock records. The same things that are being said about hip hop are being said about R&B as well. And it just makes you wonder what the state of black music is right now. Like it feels like it's in some cases, at least on a mainstream level, because obviously there's great, great talent in the underground. We know this for sure. But on a mainstream level, it seems like the soul is missing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mhm.
What happened was, in my opinion, was once they started mixing too much rap. See, it was a war that took place in the '90s. Everybody always talk about the West Coast East Coast war, but they never talk about the East Coast war that was going on,
Mm.
right? And that
Hold
was
on.
yeah, that was Wu Tang and J. Rue the Damager and all them cats going against Puff and Big, right? That's a war that was going on too. Songs J. Rule, songs like One Day, Wu
Mhm.
Tang, Forever. The first interlude where RZA speaking on rappers who putting all that R&B into the rap. You see what I'm saying? Because New York used to be real in the early '90s. It was real gritty and it was poetical, and the music didn't have all them diamonds and chains and all that. You had your big gold chains, the Rakim era, but I'm talking like early '90s with
Mhm.
the and all that. That was just 100 niggas around on the corner
Mhm.
rapping.
Right.
No, no choreography.
Right. Right.
Next, uh, you start seeing goddamn Biggie and Diddy. Big one of my favorite rappers, but they start mixing the R&B in it,
Hmm.
and they are making hits, and we got classics out of it objectively. But what they was doing was watering down the formula of the rawness in rap. You
Hmm.
know, the sales, and we started getting more R&B in rap.
Hmm. Right. Right.
So
Right.
it killed R&B because R&B niggas went from Luther Vandross type niggas to niggas who dressing like rappers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
you lost that Marvin Gaye, all that Luther Vandross, all these niggas who get on stage, Keith Sweat, and they doing a whole different crowd. And then you started getting, even though I objected, I fuck with Joe to see them, all that. You started getting them type of niggas who look like they look like rappers,
Right. Right.
and they like rappers. You know
Right.
what
I think that was the appeal. That was one of the appeal, obviously, of Jodeci and Mary,
I'm saying?
which obviously Puff was involved with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong; those are two of my favorite
Yeah,
groups.
bro.
But I could definitely see because what happened, in my opinion, is they see the success of Mary, they see the success of Jodeci,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a copy now, right? And now it gets watered down, and the genres seem to kind of just merge together. You know what I'm saying?
But ask yourself this:
Hmm.
if a motherfucker like Sam Cooke could come back in 1992
Mm.
and say, "What the hell is this?" This on,
Right.
you know, it's, even though it's classic for us, they like that R&B, man. That's some rap shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, we
Yeah.
know we got to listen to the elders.
Right.
You know, I was only three in '93, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
100% objective. You know what I'm saying. So
Hmm.
I imagine that the elders is like they coming back listening to that shit. Like, what is this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This R&B. This shit is stepped on, and
Hmm.
it mixed with some rhythm shit, some rap shit, and like I say, it killed both. It
Yeah.
actually killed both because the rawness in rap started turning into R&B because to sound. See, when Diddy and Biggie started having all that success, that's what killed Illmatic. A lot of
Mm.
people realize that. Now it was written as classic, but it's the more commercial side of Nas.
Hmm.
Versus Illmatic. Illmatic didn't really sell as well. He seen the success of Big and Puff, and then he did it like that.
Right.
Who could no longer fit into the rap game? You know what I'm saying? Because it became about your look. You had to
Hmm.
be a nigga like Mace now.
Right.
And just like, damn, now where I'm gonna fit in at?
Hmm.
Because he wasn't a fly like Big, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he can't fit in no more. And
Right.
then Wu-Tang is fighting it because they like, man, we don't even make hooks. We don't even make a lot of hooks on our songs.
Right.
So you comparing us on radio. Who killed Wu-Tang? Radio.
Mm. Yeah.
Radio or Wu-Tang.
Right.
Uh but and Ghostface said Diddy did it.
Yeah, I heard. I saw that interview.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so uh that's what killed both genres was the merging of them. R&B was supposed to stay R&B,
Hmm.
and rap was supposed to stay rap. Nowadays, you got rappers who think that they can sing.
And singers that think they could rap.
I heard Anderson Paak rapping on Summer Walker, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Right. Right. You
so. But that's what killed out both our genres. Died because they blended together, and R&B back in the day came from the church, and
yeah.
you had to how to sing. You got your voice done. You got your voice ready in the church. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And you took it to that's how you got your Whitneys, your Tony Braxtons, and all this. But that's 100% R&B.
Right.
You know, Mary J. Blige did both. So
Hmm.
you had your exceptions. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
in the end, Mary could do both. But a lot of people couldn't, and it killed that because it's a copycat league.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Last thing I wanted to ask you, my brother. 2025 been I would say it's been a pretty damn good year in hip hop. One of the things that helped it, in a lot of people's opinion, be a great year in hip hop was all the things that Nas has been doing for the culture with, the Legend Has It series. Um, what would you say about what Nas is contributing, not only musically, but culturally, with like going and back and you know doing albums for Mobb Deep and De La and Ray and Slick Rick. Like what would you what are your thoughts on what Nas is doing?
I mean, not for those that don't know, Nas is my favorite rapper ever. You know what I'm saying? And you can hear a lot of his influence even in my shit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Him and Pop, my favorite rappers ever. But Nas is legendary, man. And Nas is to me like, how can I put it? He's like Tarantino or Scorsese, he's somebody like that, where it's like, you know, I can never say I don't like it. It's just do I like it or don't do I like it as much as I like the
Yeah,
last?
yeah,
Man,
yeah, yeah.
never. I would never critique nothing Nas do. I just let Nas get in his bag and be Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, uh, but with what he's doing, Nas has already bred it up. So everything he doing now is just out of the love for the craft. And Nas is a historian. He loved the genre. He rocking with Rome Streets right now, and I
Oh,
fuck with
is
that.
he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Him and Rome Streets been rocking tough.
Wow.
You know
Dope.
what I mean? So
Hmm.
he co-signed Rome Streets too. So that's on fire.
Hmm.
So he tapped in. He tapped in with a lot of the underground guys, and I think it's dope what he doing, man. We need it. That's what mass appeal. You know what I'm saying? I think he also brought you Nick Grant. He don't get a lot of credit for like really bringing on Nick Grant and Dave East. A lot of cats even
Hmm.
before. You know what I'm saying? So now it's always had an ear to the street. We used to give him a little bit of like, man, he didn't. Jay-Z was bringing all them niggas on in the early 2000s. I ain't bring nobody on, but I started doing it later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So uh, better later than never. And I think what he's doing is beautiful because everything he's doing is for the purist.
yeah.
That really era. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that's right up my alley.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Vic, again, man, you were the first interview on here. I appreciate you, for coming back.
For sure.
Also, congrats to you on, all the success that you've been getting and just the new heights and new levels. Definitely well deserved. And so just let everybody know where they can. I mean, link's gonna be in the description, but just let everybody know where they can find you at.
All right, man. Appreciate you too. And much success to you too, man. I'm a big fan of the channel. You know what I mean? We
Appreciate
need
you.
Yeah, we need channels like this, man. I be watching a lot of your builds. You can catch me on Twitter, right? X. That's where I be hanging out at. Music and builds. You know, I do journalism on there. You can always hit that highlight tab and check out some of my. I got over 100 threads. You know what I mean? Classics. You can catch me on Music and Builds on YouTube also, right? And then you can find my music, Dat Boi Vic. I got joints with a lot of legends. You know what I mean? I just dropped the album recently, and it's out right now. You know, one day this war is going to end. Check that out. Make sure you tap in and show love.
No doubt. Make sure y'all check out. Once you check out One Day This War is going to end, just go through the rest of the catalog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And familiarize yourself and just keep it in your rotation. That boy Vic, definitely, man. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. With link is in the description as well.
For sure.
You didn't mention that, but you're doing great things with the YouTube as well. It's kind of like an extension of what you
Yeah,
do on X. You know what I'm saying?
it's kind of like a little extension. You know what I'm saying? I'm really just testing the waters out, man. See how it go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, it's good to have you back, bro, and appreciate you for coming through.
For sure, man. Hold it down.
No
Peace.
doubt. You too. Peace.